What if aiming for 10 times your current results was easier than aiming for double? It sounds wrong. It goes against everything we are taught about setting realistic goals. But this single idea is the difference between incremental grinding and exponential growth. It's a secret. A 17-year-old artist used 500 years ago to become the legendary Michelangelo, and it reveals why most of us are stuck working too hard for too little. I am going to show you 3 things. First, why your brain's default setting, the 2x mindset, is a trap that guarantees complexity and burnout. Second, the transformative 80/20 rule that 10x growth demands, which is more about what you let go of than what you do. And third, the story of Michelangelo's first impossible leap and how you can apply the same principle today. Most people reach for a little more, a 10% raise, a slightly better job, a new personal record. This is 2x thinking. It feels safe. It feels logical. But it's a trap. Imagine you want to increase your company's profit by 10%. How would you do it? There are almost infinite ways to get a 10% improvement. You could cut costs, try a new marketing campaign, raise prices by 2%, work on weekends, or 100 other small tweaks. The sheer number of options creates paralysis. You end up trying a dozen different things, working more hours, and spreading your focus thin. You are in a smartness contest with everyone else who is also trying to get 10% better. And it's a contest you can't win. It's a path to low returns and high complexity. Now, ask a different question. How would you 10x your profits? Suddenly, the noise disappears. The new goal is so big it's almost impossible. And because it's impossible, it forces clarity. Almost nothing you are currently doing will get you there. An impossible goal separates the signal from the noise. It illuminates the 1 or 2 paths with the highest possible upside, forcing you to discard everything else. You stop operating based on your past assumptions. You are forced to find a new, non-linear path. This is precisely what a young, unknown artist did in 1492. At age 17, Michelangelo had a teen's goal. He wanted to sculpt his first life-sized, 3-dimensional statue, a 9-foot Hercules. This was far beyond anything he had ever tried. He had done smaller sculptures, but nothing on this scale, and nothing he had been paid for. This was his first leap from an amateur to a professional mindset. He bought a block of marble with his savings and started modeling with beeswax, but he quickly hit a wall. He realized he had a fatal flaw. He didn't understand the human body. He wrote, "What do I know of the causes, the vital structure of a man that lies beneath the surface? How can I know what creates from within the shapes I see from without?" He couldn't just get 10% better at sculpting. He knew his work would look lifeless, like a shell, unless he understood the muscles, tendons, and bones underneath. He needed a mastery of human anatomy. There was one problem. In 15th century Florence, dissecting human cadavers was a crime punishable by death. He had a choice. Play it safe with 2x thinking and create a mediocre statue, or risk everything for a 10x leap. For months, Michelangelo snuck into a charity hospital morgue late at night. He began awkwardly exploring the hospital, trying to find where the dead were kept. He found the morgue, where the bodies of the poor and unwanted were wrapped and held for burial. He would slip inside after dark and leave before sunrise, working by candlelight. For the next several months, he secretly dissected dozens of corpses, teaching himself the intricacies of the human body. He obsessed over the details. He held and cut into every organ. He studied how the muscles flexed, the veins pumped, and the tendons stretched. He got used to smell. This was his 20%. The one area of focus that would change everything. To do it, he had to let go of 80% of his old life, his comfort, his safety, and his identity as a simple apprentice. The result was the Hercules, a statue so full of life and power it launched his career. He wasn't born a master. He became one by pursuing an impossible goal that forced him to acquire unique knowledge. This single project left him a different person with new skills, a new reputation, and the confidence to take on his next 10x jump, the David, and then the Sistine Chapel. So how does this apply to you right now? It comes down to a simple framework. Going for 2x growth means you keep 80% of your existing life. Your clients, your habits, your mindset. You just try to do more of what you were already doing. It's linear. It's a grind. Going for 10x is the opposite. It requires letting go of 80% of your current focus and going all in on the crucial 20% that's relevant and high impact. That 10x future becomes a filter for everything you do, and most of your current life cannot make it through that filter. As the actor Leonardo DiCaprio said, every next level of your life will require a different you. Consider Carson Holmquist, CEO of a logistics company. He dug into his company's numbers and realized there were 2 types of clients: routine freight and high-stakes freight. The routine clients made up 95% of his business. These were simple point A to point B jobs. But because the service was simple, There was a ton of competition, and it was a constant race to the bottom on price. These clients weren't loyal. His high-stakes clients were the opposite. They made up only 5% of his business, but accounted for 15% of the company's profit. These jobs were complex, challenging, and required perfection, and these clients valued and paid for that quality. Carson saw that the routine clients were his 80% the part of the business that kept everyone busy but wasn't creating exponential value. The high-stakes clients were his 20%. He made the terrifying decision to stop pursuing any new routine clients and focus only on the high-stakes ones. His team resisted. It seemed insane to abandon 95% of their prospects. The sales reps couldn't see how they could make a living with so few potential calls. But Carson held the line. Within 3 years, his company was 4 times more profitable with the same number of employees. By focusing only on high-stakes clients, the team got better at serving them. Their service became more unique, and their profitability grew exponentially. He let go of the 80% that kept him busy and went all in on the 20% that created real value. The 80% you're holding on to is your comfort zone. It's your security. It is also the anchor holding you back. A 10x goal isn't just about addition. It's about subtraction. It forces you to identify that 80% and cut it loose so you can pour all your energy into the 20% that truly matters. Aiming for 2x keeps you competing with everyone, grinding for inches, and complicating your life. Aiming for 10x simplifies your focus. The goal becomes so big that it illuminates the 1 or 2 things you must do. It forces you to change the game instead of just playing it better. It requires you to shed your old identity and go all in on the 20% that creates exponential results, just as Michelangelo did when he risked death to understand human anatomy.